Superman.
Miss Lane.
You're from Philly, right?
I am.
Okay, I'm from Delaware.
Okay.
Did you notice that Metropolis is in Delaware?
Metropolis is in Delaware, and the skyline of Metropolis, as seen from Lex's, control room, includes Liberty Place from Philadelphia. I think they put that building in as a little nod for me. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
If you spot it, let me know.
Oh my God, that's awesome. I heard you two are looking for a third. How have you been processing your applications?
Well, Nicholas Holt is the third.
Oh, okay.
We were missing our third.
Yeah.
But
fuck that guy.
There's always we're holding space for Nick over
Holding
here.
space.
We're still missing our third.
Your interview scene together is one of my favorites. I was watching the Christopher Reeve, Margot Kidder interview scene, and it's very charming and romantic. And yours is equally as hot, but it is more of a sparring match. Can you talk to me about that? Was that kind of an intentional flip on its head of that? And talk to me a little bit about that scene.
We thought it was charming and romantic.
Well, what's great is that it's certainly in the spirit of that great iconic scene. I think that scene from the Donner movie is for many people the scene that they remember the most and sort of indicative of that film. For us, we got to go, I don't know, further deeper just because the circumstances are further along in the relationship. You don't have that block of Lois not knowing Superman's identity. The cards are all on the table, so the flirtation and the romance and the banter is really all a means to a deeper end, which is, A, what the hell are you doing, and do you know what you're doing, and are you sure you thought this through? And B, are we sure this isn't us breaking up? Is it possible that this is us? Did you just break up with me?
I think it starts with us being this will be fun, and this will end in a very different part of the apartment than it ultimately ends in, and then. Yeah, it feels so real, and that's one of the things that was so fun about it.
Yeah.
So fun to play about it.
Mm-hmm.
They may or may not have had their first fight at this point already.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is probably the biggest fight they've ever had.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a fight.
It's a sparring match.
My mom always says it's not about
Foreplay.
whether you fight, it's about how you fight. So
Yeah.
There you go.
Your mom is a smart lady.
She is.
My mother, my wonderful mother, whom I love, always says it's important to have compatible conflict styles.
What's the best advice you've gotten?
You know what? Actually, it applies here. The best advice I was ever given was don't quit on the same day. That at some point in any relationship, you're going to want to quit, and you just can't quit on the same day.
I love that.
And I actually think we see that in this scene.
I love that. Now, Lois and Clark both have taste. They love punk rock music.
I think Clark would like to think that he loves punk rock music.
Clark doesn't know what punk rock music is.
Do you think he's heard Kryptonite by Three Doors Down?
Absolutely not.
Look, okay, the reason I know that is because David couldn't tell you the first thing about punk rock music or what it is, and David has definitely heard Kryptonite by Three Doors Down. It was on, my sister reminded me of this. The reason I've heard Kryptonite Three Doors Down is because it was on Now 5.
Aggressively right now.
Which was the Now CD that I got for Christmas whenever that came out. But that was
You
the
think
one
that
Now.
Ma and Pa Kent gave Superman Now 5?
Oh, I'm just saying that's why David has heard the song.
I think canonically they gave him Now 5.
I think it's established now.
Now they did.
Now 5 was a series of CDs that came out, and maybe they're still coming out.
They're on Now 108.
It was now that's what I call music, and then it was whichever iteration was. Now 5.
Now we've had too many.
Now, speaking of taste, David, I have to ask you about this. There is a nearly minute-and-a-half video of you reciting a lot of A New Hope, the Death Star sequence, and it is one of my favorite things in the world because Star Wars is one of my favorite things on the planet.
Is that a Death Star tattoo?
It is it's covered. It's a Rebel.
Amazing.
Alliance.
Fantastic.
Yes. So tell me, is Star Wars your North Star? Is that your favorite thing? And then I want to know from you, is there a movie you can do that with?
I feel like we should have to take a shot every time somebody mentions Juilliard or Star Wars.
Well, damn it! Everyone else has been bringing it up.
No, it's mostly just David.
I like to bring it up. Star Wars for me is sort of the for a bunch of reasons. I think it's reasonable. It's an amazing, fantastical universe that brought so many people into loving cinema and loving film film and loving fantasy, space fantasy. James has described this new DCU as feeling a little more like the Star Wars universe in the sense that, you know, there's a lot of, it's not our world, it's an alternate world, and it's not an origin story. You're just thrown into the middle of this universe and you learn about it as you go. The music is John Williams, which is huge. I mean, a huge part of why Star Wars has stuck in my mind for so many years is the music, and John Williams' other music has been a way that I've expanded out to other great films and a reason that I love the other films that he's scored. I feel so, I mean, the craziest, the most surreal thing about being in this film is now I am in a film that has John Williams' theme underneath it. That's probably the biggest pinch me moment for me in this whole thing. And it's a fun thing to nerd out about. You know, everybody has their pocket of extended universe that they've, gotten into. There are some great crossover comics with Star Wars characters and other universes. We could go on and on.
How much time do you have?
Unfortunately, none.
Hey, buddy, eyes up here.